Welcome to the video lectures on analog electronics. Myself, Dr. Shomik Poddar, Assistant Professor, Electronics and Communication Engineering Department, Guru Nanak Institute of Technology, Kolkata. The course code is EE303, contact 3, and credit is also 3. Today we will discuss the module 2 and its part 2. Before going to the detailed discussion of this part 2 of module 2, let us introduce the lesson plan of this module. The topics to be discussed are transistor biasing and stability, within which the subtopics are included as biasing technique, Q point and its stability, self-bias, CE configuration, bias compensation techniques, H parameter model of transistors, expression of voltage gain, current gain, input and output impedance, power gain, emitter follower circuit. In the part 1, we had discussed the biasing technique, Q point and its stability, self-bias, CE configuration, bias compensation techniques. Now in the part 2, that is in our present presentation, we shall discuss the H parameter model of transistors, expression for voltage gain, current gain, input and output impedance, and power gain. The instruction hour of this module 2 is set as 4, and the module 2 is included in the course outcome 2. That is, after studying this module, the student will be able to analyze the transistor amplifier circuit. But for proper understanding of this module, the prerequisites as needed are fundamentals on Kirchhoff's voltage current law, Thevenin's theorem, differential equation, BJT fundamentals, and matrix. For understanding the H parameter model, the matrix algebra, and the normal current voltage equation, the Kirchhoff's voltage law are very essential for understanding this topic. Now we are starting the part 2. In the part 2, already I have mentioned, but again I am reiterating this: the H parameter model of the transistor and expression of voltage gain, current gain, input impedance and output impedance of common emitter amplifier. Now, in the previous module, we had discussed the Q point and its biasing, stability, compensation networks, etc. So, from that part, we had learned that Q point is used for DC analysis, whereas in the present module, we shall discuss the H parameter, and these H parameters are used in AC analysis. So this is the main difference between the Q point analysis and the H parameter analysis. Q point analysis is used to design the bias circuit, which is the primary criteria for proper design of an amplifier. After setting the biasing circuit, now we will analyze the H parameter model of that circuit so that we can design the optimal or the optimized amplifier, BJT amplifier circuit. So let us start H parameter model of transistor. H stands for hybrid. Basically, the H parameter model is used for studying any two-port network. Now, what is two-port network? Two-port network means it has four terminals, out of which two terminals of input and the output terminal is of two, output portion is also of two terminals. So this type of circuit is called two-port network. Now in case of BJT, we know that the BJT has three terminals: base, emitter and collector. Now if we imagine a common emitter configuration, then the emitter is common for both input side as well as the output side. So the input terminals are designated as base and emitter, whereas the output terminals are designated as collector and emitter. So thus the BJT will become a two-port network, just like the right picture shown in the right hand side of the slide. So if you imagine a BJT in the blue color box, it's base and this is the emitter, so this becomes the input side. It is the collector and it is the emitter, it is signified as the output terminal. Similarly for common base, this common terminal is base. This terminal 1 is of the emitter and the terminal 2 is of collector. So thus the BJT becomes a two-port network. So again, I am reiterating that two-port network is nothing but a four-terminal network, and BJT, due to its three terminals configuration, it will behave as a two-port network. Now, in analysis of a two-port network, the useful model is H parameter model. And in this case, most important thing should be noted that this H parameter model is also called a small signal model. That means now in this case, the circuit, the two-port network can handle the smaller amplitude of the input signals, and it will process the input to produce the amplified version of the amplified version, and it will produce the output. So both input is of smaller magnitude, less than 1 volt. Typically it is in order of millivolt or the microvolt. In that case, the total BJT will be represented by this voltage and current equation. Now if we see in the electrical equation, we will observe that in the first equation it is written as VI is equals to H11 II plus H12 V naught. That means this VI is equals to some parameter H11 in IY, that is input current, plus H12, that is another parameter, into the V naught, that is the output voltage. But in the second equation, we will see that the left hand side is becoming the current. It's not the voltage. So it becomes a I naught equals to H21 II plus H22 V naught. So if we carefully observe the entire equations, so you will see that the voltage is dependent not only the input current but also the output voltage. Similarly, the output current will not only depend on the input current but also the output voltage. So the dependency onto the input current and the output voltage is designated by some parameters which are called hybrid parameters or H parameters. Hybrid means it is mixing. if you look carefully, that the equation is a mixture of current and voltage. It's not a pure current equation, neither it is a voltage equation. That's why the dependency will be described by the hybrid parameter. Now, what is H11? From our normal mathematical concept, if we equate the V naught, that is the output voltage, equals to 0, that means physically if we short the output terminals, then what will happen? The VI will be equals to H11 into II. Similarly, the I naught, that is the output current, will be equal to H21 into II. So we can describe the H11 is equals to VI by II. H11 equals to VI by II because we have shorted the output terminals. So V naught becomes 0. So H11 can be described as VI by II when V naught equals to 0. Now, if we carefully look into the expression of the H11, it is nothing but the ratio of voltage and current. And we know the voltage by current is nothing but a impedance. So, H11 can be described as input impedance. Why input impedance? Because the suffix of voltage as well as the current is I. I stands for input. So therefore H11 is described as input impedance. Similarly, the I naught equals to H21 into II. So H21 can be described as I naught by II. Here you will see that this is a ratio of two currents. So as it is a ratio of a two current, so it is equal to gain, current gain. Now, the important thing is that the denominator is input current, whereas the numerator is the output current. So output divided by input. That's why it is known as forward current gain, because if you see into the picture that the current is entering into the device from the 1 prime terminal, and the current is also leaving from 2 prime terminal. So it is a forward current gain, right? Similarly, if we set II equals to 0, how we can set II equals to 0? If we keep the input terminals open. So when the input terminals becomes open, then the II becomes 0. So if we are not connecting any signal, so the input terminals become open, then II becomes 0. When the II becomes 0, then VI is related with V naught by the factor H12, and the I naught will be related to the V naught by H22. So H12 is represented as VI divided by V naught. So if you are carefully looking into the expression, it is a ratio of two voltages. So it is the voltage gain. But the important thing is that the numerator is the input voltage, whereas the denominator is the output voltage. That's why it is called reverse voltage gain. In case of H22, if you are looking into the H22 expression, it is equals to I naught by V naught. We know that the current versus voltage is called the admittance, and the current as well as the voltage both are the output. So this H22 is called the output admittance. This H22 is called output admittance. Therefore, the H parameter can be can be simplified into a matrix form, that is H11, H12, H21, H22 by using this relation. So we can write that the matrix formation of VI I naught equals to matrix of H11, H12, H21, H22 into II into V naught. Simple matrix algebra. Now we will start moving towards the more specific circuit of the BJT. As we know that the BJT common emitter configuration is the most popular one, as this configuration provides the good amplification and the higher impedance. So therefore we will study the H parameter model of this BJT common emitter configuration. Now the above circuit is represented by the BJT, and this II, I naught, VI, V naught will be changed according to the CE configuration. If we see into the H parameter model, we will observe that VI is the input voltage, II is the input current. This is the impedance, because we have learned that this H11 is nothing but the impedance. So when we are connecting any VI, the VI will send a current through some impedance. So that's why we have drawn this impedance. Next, this VI is also related with the V naught by HR. That is the H12. H12 is called reverse voltage gain. That's why it is designated as HR. So H1, therefore, this VI can be represented as a voltage source, which is equals to HR into V naught. Similarly, if we look into the output section, the I naught is equals to H21II, and H21 is the forward current gain. So therefore H21 can be symbolized as HF. H21 can be symbolized as HF. F stands for forward, and this H22 is called the output admittance. So it is symbolized as H1 by HO. So as it is an admittance, so we cannot put into series position, and also the HF symbolize the current gain. So we can use a dependent current source whose value is HFII, and due to the presence of current source there is a parallel resistance HO. Therefore the admittance will be 1 by HO. Okay, so this is the hybrid equivalent circuit. And if we carefully look, that the input voltage will produce an output current. It is a BJT transconductance amplifier. So H11 is represented as HI, input resistance, VI by II, when V naught equals to 0. H12 equals to HR, reverse voltage gain. It is equals to VI by V naught when II equals to 0. H21 equals to HA, forward current gain. It is equals to I naught by II, V naught equals to 0. And the last one, H22, is called HO, output admittance, I naught by V naught when II equals to 0. So this is the generalized hybrid parameter model of a transistor. Now when the transistor will be in common emitter configuration, we will see that the model will be somehow modified. When the transistor will be organized in a common base configuration, the hybrid parameter model will again be reorganized. So in the next slide, we are going to the hybrid H parameters of BJT common emitter configuration. Now, if you see, it is the left hand side, it is our very common picture where the BJT will act as a common emitter mode. The emitter is common for both input and the output. This is the input current. So when the emitter terminal is common, the base current is the input current, collector current is the output current. Okay, so by converting this picture into the equivalent model, first start, this terminal is base. So whatever we have learned from the earlier slide, it is the input terminal. So when we are directly discussing the common emitter, the input terminal will be the base. So we have symbolized small b. Then after this terminal, there should be some input impedance. The generalized form presentation is HI, but as it is a common emitter, so the true symbol will be HIE. This suffix E denotes the common emitter. Next, there is a voltage source. The voltage source designation will be, generalized designation will be HR into VI. Now, focus on to the C configuration. What is the VI? The VI is nothing but the VBE, base emitter voltage. So base emitter voltage is the VBE, it is the actual input voltage of the common emitter. So this voltage source designation will be equal to HRE into VCE. VCE is the collector to emitter voltage, it is the output voltage. So HRE into VCE is the designation of the voltage source. And then the emitter is common. From emitter, there we have connected a current source, just like this diagram. But the current source designation will be changed to HFE. HFE into IB. Why IB? Because here HF into II. So as it is a common emitter, it becomes HFE. II means input current. So for the common emitter, what is the input current? Input current is the IB current, base current. That's why it is designated as HFE into IB. And the parallel resistance is designated as HOE. So this is the hybrid parameter model of a BJT common emitter configuration. The HI is called the input resistance of CE mode, HRE called reverse voltage gain at common emitter mode, HFE is called forward current gain at the common emitter. If you are seeing that HFE equals to IC by IB, from our fundamental knowledge, we know IC by IB is beta. But in the previous analysis, that is when we are dealing with biasing, the beta was purely DC. But here, the H parameter as used for the AC analysis, so HF is called AC beta. So please be careful about these two terms. One is beta, which is equals to capital IC by IB when we are dealing with this biasing circuit, but for HFE is the AC beta. Normally, during the fabrication of the BJT, the HFE is mentioned. So conventionally, we are taking HFE is equals to the DC beta also to avoid any complexity. However, HOE is called the output admittance in the CE mode. Now, H parameters of BJT in common base configuration. This is the transistor circuit at the common base. It is obvious that the base is common for both emitter and collector. The input current now is changed to IE, whereas the output current is now changed to IC. And the input voltage will be equals to VEB. VEB, because base is common, so it is input voltage will be VEB and the output voltage will be VCB. Here one thing it should be mentioned that the this is a PNP based transistor, so this emitter will be positive and the base will be negative. So we are not using the NPN in order to avoid the complexity, but the same thing will be happen. Only the polarity and the current direction will be just changed. So the equivalent hybrid model will be looks like this. The emitter terminal is the input terminal which is connected to a resistance. The resistance symbol is H of I suffix B, that is common base. Then this is the voltage source. Though here there is no chance of the for confusion, because in the previous case we have symbolized a circle one, but now it is a there is a rhombus like structure, but same thing will be happen. Actually this is the basic symbol for the dependence current source, so its symbol will be HRB VCB. This is the current source symbol and whose designation will be H of FB into IC. IE, HFB into IE, of which there is a resistance parallel with the current source, and the resistance value will be 1 by HOB, because HOB is the output admittance. It is, as it is a common base mode, so it is HOB. Therefore, the resistance value will be 1 by HOB. The output voltage will be V of CB. So HIB, again I am writing the current voltage expression. VEB is equals to IE into HIB plus HRB into VCB, and IC is equals to this current, that is HFB into IE plus this current, that is 1 by HOB, because it is a admittance, so HOB into VCB, because when we are multiplying admittance with the voltage, it becomes a current. So HOB into VCB, it becomes another current. So the sum of these two current is equals to the IC. But practically what will happen, the resistance value is much very high. Therefore, the output current will only be equal to this HFB into IE. Next, so this is the H parameter model of the BJT common base mode. Now we are going to derive the current gain, voltage gain, input impedance, output impedance, power gain. This is the most important thing to design a particular amplifier, because when we are designing any amplifier, the amplifier will increase the strength of the signal. That means there is some gain of the voltage, there is in turn gain of current, there is a gain of power, there is a change in input impedance, there is some output impedance concept, and so there are so many factors which are important during the design of any BJT amplifier. Now, before going to the derivation of these parameters, first the hybrid parameter model of any configuration must be simplified. because if we are looking into the BJT common emitter hybrid model, we will see that there is a there is a voltage source. So it somehow be complicated to calculate these parameters. And also, not only this, the HRE value, the reverse voltage gain is nearly is much less than 1. Means it is a very point decimal, it has a fractional value, it's very nearly equals to 0. So therefore, we can easily neglect this voltage source. Again, I am telling that during the derivation of the parameters, the HRE VC should be removed. Why? Because the value of HRE is much less than 1. Means it is thought to be tends to 0. So therefore, we can easily remove this voltage source. So after removal of the voltage source, the hybrid equivalent circuit just looks like this. It is a simplified or approximate hybrid equivalent common emitter circuit. The student will see that the input terminal base, the resistance HIE only present because the HRE into VCE will be removed here, and this is the emitter is a common terminal. This current source is present HFE into IB, because we cannot neglect the HFE value. It is a very significant one, and 1 by HOE, this is also a very high value, so we cannot remove it. Okay, so this is the approximate hybrid equivalent circuit. Now, commercially, as voltage divider circuit is used due to some obvious reason, like it will stabilize the Q point more effectively, it will bring down the stability factor to 1. So therefore, we will discuss the common emitter amplifier with voltage divider biasing. There are lots of biasing, but we will focus onto the very much practical circuit, that is the voltage divider biased BJT common emitter amplifier. This CI and C2, C1 and C2 are the coupling and blocking capacitor. Basically, they will couple the input signal to the base of the transistor and also couple the output signal to the load. There is an extra capacitance the student will see, which is connected to the parallel of the RE. This capacitance is called the bypass capacitor, because in the earlier module we have learned that the RE is called unbypassed resistor. So any current will obviously flow through the resistor and develops a potential drop, which was creating a negative feedback. But if we are connecting a capacitor parallel with it, so any AC signal will not flow through the resistor, rather it will flow through the capacitor, and therefore no negative feedback will occur during the AC analysis. So that's why this C is called bypass capacitor. Now, as we are dealing with the hybrid equivalent circuit, and it is already discussed that hybrid equivalent circuit is applicable only for AC analysis, so no DC signal is considered. So VCC will be set to 0, because VCC will be VCC is a DC voltage. So if we simplify this circuit, it looks like this. It is a VI input signal voltage. Then there is a resistance parallel with each RB. How this RB will be coming? We know from our basic electrical knowledge that when we are connecting the VCC to the ground due to this AC analysis, this R1 terminal will automatically connect it to the ground, and this is the common point. So thus R1 and R2 becomes parallel in connection, whose value is represented is RB. That is the equivalent resistance of R1 and R2 is designated as RB. Then this is the input impedance of the BJT. That's why it is the HIE. It is the basic model, and this RB is the biasing resistance, because we are handling the entire common emitter amplifier. Next, this is the current source HFE into IB, and this is the output admittance HOE. But after this, if we see that during the AC analysis, the capacitor is acting, means it is shorted, so the any resistance which is parallel to the shorted wire, it will become zero. So that means the emitter is directly connected to ground. That's why at the emitter we are not seeing any resistance. Again, I am telling that as it is a AC analysis circuit, so the AC and during the AC signal, the capacitor will offer very low impedance. So thus the capacitor circuit will be thought to be as a shorted wire, and any resistance parallel to the shorted wire will immediately becomes the zero. So thus there is no resistance here, and it is the RC resistance, collector resistance connected here. Now it is the input impedance ZI, output impedance looking across the RC, it is a Z0, it is the output current I0. Next, ZI. If you look into the ZI, it is the input impedance, it is nothing but the RB parallel HIE, and RB is equals to R1 parallel R2. So therefore ZI equals to R1 parallel R2 parallel HIE. Similarly, Z0. If we are seeing Z0, Z0 means this resistance. So what we are seeing, it is a parallel combination of RC parallel 1 by HOE. That is Z0 equals to RC parallel 1 by HOE, and 1 by HOE is very high, as already mentioned. It tends to infinity. So therefore the Z0 will be nearly equals to RC. Normally when we during the design, we are not considering this 1 by HOE. To avoid the complexity, we just write the Z0 nearly equals to RC. Next, we are going to derive the voltage gain AV. Voltage gain is equals to V0 by Vi. Now, V0 means this is the output voltage. Now, here you will see that the current is entering into the device, not leaving into the device. So that means when the current is entering into the device, so the V0 can be represented as minus I0 into R prime. I will discuss R prime later, but why this minus sign is introduced? The minus sign means as this voltage V0 will allow the current to enter into the device, that means it will dissipate its energy. It will drain its energy. It will not collect any current. So it will drain the current, so it will lose its energy. That's why the negative sign will be happened. So minus I0 into R prime. What is R prime? R prime is, we are seeing it is a R prime resistance for our simplicity. Let R prime will be discussed. Minus I0 into R prime, and I0 will be equal to IC, because this current is nothing but the IC, and R prime is nothing but the Z0, that is RC parallel 1 by HOE. So therefore it becomes V0 equals to minus IC into R prime, and IC can be represented as minus HFE into IB. It is a simplified, because again I am telling what is happening. V0 is equals to I0 minus I0 into R prime, and as I0 equals to IC, so we can write minus IC into R prime. R prime is the parallel combination of these two resistance. Now in this case, this resistance will be very high, so no current will be entering into the path. The total IC will be equal to HFE into IB. So that's why we can write V naught equals to minus HFE into IB into R prime. So although we are introducing the 1 by HOE, but it is so high that we just neglect any current through the resistance. We just consider that the output current IC is nothing but equals to HFE into IB. And IB equals to, and IB, what is IB? IB is this current. So these two resistance are parallel, so VI will be same across the two resistance. So therefore IB can be written as VI divided by HIE. So it is VI by HIE. Therefore, we just write V naught equals to minus HFE into VI by HI into R prime. So V naught by VI will be equals to HFE into R prime by HIE. Now introducing the value of R prime, which is equals to the parallel combination of 1 by HOE and RC. So it is the expression of the voltage gain. Now due to the presence of negative sign, it will symbolize that the voltage gain provides a 180-degree phase shift between the input and the output signal. So common emitter amplifier is an inverting amplifier due to this negative sign in the voltage gain. In order to derive the current gain means I naught by II. What is I naught? I naught is the actual output current. II is the actual input current. Now, during the analysis, first I naught. If we see I naught is the total current, it is flowing through the resistance RC. So we are not considering this RC. And I naught is divided into this, the one path here and another is there. Another is the current source. So I naught, what will happen? I naught is written as HFE into IB. It is a very important, interesting thing. If we are considering the HFE into IB as the main current source, if we are considering HFE into IB as the main current source, it has two components. One is through this 1 by HOE path. Another is the RC path. The current in the RC path is nothing but the I naught. So I naught can be represented due to the current divider rule as HFE into IB into 1 by HOE by 1 by HOE plus RC, because in the current divider rule, the opposite resistance will be taken into consideration. So I naught will be just like this, and 1 by HOE is greater than or equals to 10 times of RC. Therefore, we just neglect this. We can neglect this RC term. So this 1 by HOE, this 1 which will be cancelled out, and I naught becomes HFE into IB. How fantastic one! So basically, it is a collector current. And in case of IB, if you are seeing the IB current, again there is a two parallel resistance, and IB is a fraction of the total current IE. So IB is flowing through the resistance HIE. So the opposite resistance should be taken into consideration. Therefore, IB equals to II into RB divided by RB plus HIE. So this is the IB expression, and putting down the value of IB here, it becomes like this: I naught equals to HFE into R1 parallel R2 by R1 parallel R2 plus HI into II. Therefore, the current gain becomes I naught by II equals to that is the AI equals to HFE R1 parallel R2 by R1 parallel R2 plus HIE. Now the power gain is equals to AV into AI, that is the voltage gain and the current gain. Putting down the value of AV and AI, it becomes minus HFE whole square 1 by HOE parallel RC by HIE into R1 parallel R2 divided by R1 parallel R2 plus HIE. So that's all. This is the derivation of these parameters for a common emitter amplifier. Thank you for listening the lecture.